In this book, I really dig into the emotional toxins that rise up in us that separate us in our faith, separate us in relationships, and that could be a marriage. But in those times, like I said earlier, when you feel lonely and you feel like you're not loved, or people don't care about you, or you're not worthy enough for certain time together, or all of the things that come up. I'm not good enough. I'm not loved. If you have guilt and shame in your life that you haven't released, if there's fear that's built up in you of fear of failure, fear of stepping out, fear of whatever it is that you're looking into, that God's calling you into. So that's where in this book I dig into those emotional barriers that we put up that stop us from realizing what God truly desires to do in and through our lives.
Well, there is an acrostic for the word detox, DETOX. And if you would just take us through those 5 different areas and give us just a little bit of a definition.
Yeah, so when we go through the distraction detox in the book, each chapter ends with a detox challenge. And in those detox challenges, I'm really walking me along with you, because I haven't written a book that I haven't lived out.
Sure.
And so these are the steps that I went through when really trying to take hold of those emotional toxins. And the first one is determine your internal distractions. Internally, what is it that's holding you back? What is it that's stifling your faith? What is it that's not allowing you to move where God is asking you to move? And then we evaluate the emotional barriers, because I want people to understand where it is these are coming from and how it's making them feel, and that they are very real emotions, that they are emotions that they're feeling, they are thoughts that they're having, but how can they take hold of them? And then we turn into the T, which is terminate the toxins, so that we can hear, trust, and go as God is calling us. So I put in there some deception versus truth replacements. Taking that deceptive thought, holding on to it for a minute, understanding what it is, and then replacing it with God's word. We all know God can heal us of anything, but sometimes our minds can take on a mind of its own. The enemy wants to attack you in your thoughts, and those thoughts will come back up. So what I want people to do is make it a habit to take those thoughts captive and replace it with truth immediately, rather than allowing it to spiral down. And the next step is to outline a plan. If we don't have an outline of where we want to step into, and I'm not saying God's going to light up a direct path exactly where he wants to take you, but just a plan of how we're going to take those thoughts captive, how we're going to replace them, and then how we're going to start stepping out where God is calling us. And that's creating a spiritual health plan. How do we grow spiritually healthy? And then the last step is actually executing that plan. How do we execute that plan? What are the steps we're going to take in faith, taking a risk to step out where God is calling us?